Welcome to Comics Are Awesome, brought to you by Alter Ego Comics. I'm your host, Marc Boker, and it is a light week in the world of comics, but I still found a few things that I wanted to make you aware of and recommend. First off would be my pick of the week. It is War of the Realms Strikeforce, The Land of Giants. This is a one-shot spinning out of War of the Realms, and really, there are lots of miniseries and one-shots spinning out of War of the Realms, and I do think that the core series is excellent. It's a lot of fun. It's the scope is amazing. As I mentioned in a previous episode, it really has an Avengers Endgame movie feel where you've got smaller teams in different areas working on things, and Infinity War as well, but they all kind of come together at different points. So let's get that out of the way. I'm really enjoying Jason Aaron and Russell Dauterman on War of the Realms. This one shot, the only reason I picked it up, because I just can't keep up with all of them, is that it's written by Tom Taylor, who's the current writer of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. He wrote the Injustice comics over at DC for many years, and he's just one of the best writers in the business right now. So I picked it up strictly because he was writing it, and I was not disappointed. It's got action, it's got drama, it's got humor, lots of humor, and it's got feeling. And it takes place, I believe, between issue number 3 and issue number 4 of War of the Realms. But there's basically a team, a Strikeforce, that's put together to go rescue Thor, I believe from Jotunheim, my Norse language, and my Asgardian is weak. But this team is Captain America, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Wolverine, and Spider-Man, and it is just a great team of fun characters, fun, exciting, awesome characters, and everybody rides a Pegasus, so there's that going for it. So that's my pick of the week, actually. War of the Realms, Strikeforce, The Land of Giants. Also want to give a shout out to the first collected edition of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, published by Boom Studios. This was a modernization and updating of Buffy the Vampire Slayer as if it took place today in the year 2019. And it's a lot of fun. It's perfect for longtime BTVS fans and new readers as well. And the writer, Jordi Belair, is doing a great job keeping some things familiar, but also keeping people on their toes with some newness. So if you're a Buffy fan and you haven't checked out the new series in single issues yet, I highly recommend picking up the first volume of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is available now. Also, a book that I really enjoyed this week was Action Comics number 1011. This is the issue before the beginning of Event Leviathan. So this is the end of Leviathan Rising, which has been going on for many, many issues of Bendis's Action Comics run. And the more I read this series, the more I like it. It has a suspense thriller / mystery vibe to it, which you don't get in a lot of superhero books. There's some great interaction between Clark and Lois, they both get to be reporters. Lois, is really digging into the story of Leviathan. And the action is great, the interplay between the characters is great, and Steve Epstein's artwork is fantastic. So I've really enjoyed Bendis's run on Action from the beginning, from issue number 1000. They've had a little bit of a rotating artist team, and I think every artist they've had on there has been phenomenal, but I'm really enjoying Steve Epstein's run on this. So as I mentioned, Leviathan Rising ends in this issue that came out this week, and next week we get the Superman Event Leviathan special. So there's a one-shot that sets up some things, introduces some of the new creative teams. We're going to get a Jimmy Olsen series written by Matt Fraction. We're going to get a Lois Lane series written by Greg Rucka. Two things that every fan of good comics should be excited about. So that's next week, and then we get into the Event Leviathan miniseries a couple weeks later. And the fourth book that was on my list this week, I'm going to have to scratch my head because I don't remember what it was. Let's see here. What was the last one? The Goon. How could I forget The Goon? So if you have never read Eric Powell's The Goon, I highly recommend that you do. There's nothing else like it on the stands. It's got horror, humor, action. It's irreverent, not irrelevant. It's irreverent, and it's just so good. And the artwork is beautiful. Powell is one of those truly gifted human beings that can write and draw. And his creator-owned sensation, the Goon, it's celebrating 20th anniversary this year. But it's been on my radar for at least the last 10 to 15 years. And it's just one of those things that makes me smile and usually laugh out loud every time I read it. And it happened again this week. Issue number 2 is out. This is he's self-publishing again under his new imprint, Albatross Funny Books. So there are only 2 issues out right now. This is a great time to get on board with the Goon. There was some news earlier this week or last week that the Goon feature film is back on track. I believe this is going to be an animated feature. David Fincher is involved. At one time, Clancy Brown was supposed to be the voice of the Goon, and Paul Giamatti was going to be the voice of Frankie, his sidekick. And I hope that stays true and we eventually get to see it. In this age of anything and everything being produced, whether it's on Hulu or Netflix or Kickstarter or direct to this, direct to that, the world needs an animated Goon movie. Really, we do. So pick up the Goon. I highly recommend it. One of my favorite comics, really, of all time. It's one of those series where I own it in several different formats, from single issues to graphic novels to hardcover library editions from Dark Horse. And I will sing the praises of the Goon until my dying breath. So there we go. Light week, but 4 things that I highly recommend that you head out to your local comic book store and check out. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up. Make sure to like, comment, and share. And if you have any questions, post those below and I'll make sure that I get to them. As always, I appreciate your time and I appreciate you watching these videos. I have a lot of fun making them and sharing the gospel of comics. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.